Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again and we're still carrying on with Edge of Eternities today. And today's card, as you probably know by the name of the video, is Syr Vondam, Sunstar Exemplar, white and black for a 2/2 human knight. Has Vigilance and Menace, and whenever another creature you control dies, or, and this is the important bit, put into exile, put a +1/+1 counter on Syr Vondam and you gain a life. And then when Syr Vondam dies, put it into, or is put into exile while its power is 4 or greater, destroy up to one target non-land permanent. Yeah, okay then, so Syr Vondam is repeatable removal for anything on the board that isn't a land, basically. That's pretty good, but the catch is you've got to get your creatures to die or put into exile. Well, it's black and white, it's not particularly hard. You blink things and you sacrifice things. That's what we're doing today, so here we go. Hope you like this one. So we're kicking off this version. Oh, excuse me. We're kicking off this version of Syr Vondam with 3 planeswalkers. Elspeth, Stormslayer, because it helps us double up our token production and produces things to, well, produces its own tokens when it comes into play. Basically, you play this for 5 mana, press the +1 button, and you get 2 soldiers. That's fine. Tevesh that, Doom of Fools is also in because we get 2 Black Thrall creature tokens, which we're not particularly worried about sacrificing if we need to. Likewise, we can do the +1 and sacrifice one of our tokens we've already got to draw 2 cards if we need to. Or, you know, push comes to shove, we need to destroy, so we've got no other sacrifice outlet. We can sacrifice Syr Vondam off, hopefully powers 4 or more, blow something up, draw 3. That seems like a fair play to me with Tevesh. And then finally, Elspeth Sun's Champion is the 3rd planeswalker because we get 3 soldier tokens and it gives us a minor wrath effect for creatures with power 4 or greater. So, you know, again, you can do something else with Syr Vondam in play if it's power 4 more when you cast this. Creatures, well, we're in black and white. We've got quite a few. So we've got, obviously, Viscera to sacrifice things off to help us build up Syr Vondam's power. Anok Strike Lead is quite good fun. When you attack with this creature and or your commander, for each opponent, create a 1/1 red goblin creature token that's tapped and attacking. You can sacrifice this off to give all your creatures indestructible if you want to, but you're probably better off just leaving them there and having the goblins attack realistically and sack them off if you need to. Blood Artist, because it does the whole let's ping someone for 1 and we gain 1. And then, because we like creatures going into exile, the timeline colours in. There's a lot of the warp cards in here, which seem to work really well with Syr Vondam. So, obviously, this is a 2/2 black mana guy with haste, and we can cast it from the graveyard using our warp ability if we need to. Umbra Collar Zealot is also in, another way of sacrificing a creature, and we get to Surveil, which is fine. Adelaine, Resplendent Cathar, gives us more things to, well, more fodder to sacrifice off if we need to. But so we gain some light. We've got Helia, Guided by Light in here. Again, but it's also a warp card, so, you know, another way of gaining a little bit of life off the of Mr. Vondam if we need to. Insatiable Skittermore also makes an appearance. Basically, it's got the Void ability. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or a spell was warped this turn, you get to put a +1/+1 counter on here. So this gets big quite quickly, and the Menace is quite relevant. Otek Matterweaver gives us those lovely gnomes, or we can copy a token or create a token that's a copy of target artifact token we control, but it's probably going to be the gnomes most of the time. From there, Rayblade Trooper has the warp ability, comes into play per +1/+1 counter on a creature. Lovely thing, you know, +1/+1 on Syr Vondam's never bad. And whenever a non-token creature you control dies, with a +1/+1 counter on it, you get a 1/1 soldier token. So, yay, okay. Suzu Voidborn is also in as well. Whenever this creature, another creature or artifact you control dies, each target opponent loses 1, you gain 1. So another way of pinging someone. All Fate Stalker has the warp ability and exiles something when it comes into play until this leaves. So yeah, removes that annoying blocker and get through possibly for a big attack. Baron Bertram Greywater comes in from Outlaws. Whenever 1 or more tokens you control enter under your battlefield, create 1/1 vampire tokens, triggers once a turn. That's fine, but it's another sacrifice out for lets us draw a card when we sack something. Elegy Acolyte is also in. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to play, you draw a card and lose a life. And then the Void ability, you get a robot. That's fine. Elendra, the Dusk Rose, creature dies, +1/+1 counters on her, and then we get a whole load of other ones as things happen. From there, we have a Mirror Angel. Landfall gives us birds. Another way of getting tokens to fodder up and use for Syr Vondam. Night Gloomery from the Edge of Eternity is also in for the warp ability. That's fine. Minathra, Merciless Soul, bit of a fun one, coming in from Battle for Baldur's Gate, if I remember correctly. At the beginning of your end step, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, you get an experience counter. Yeah, okay then. And creatures you control get +1/+0 for each experience counter you have. Now, chances are Minathra will be killed off pretty quickly, but might as well do it while it happens. Muriel, Shield of Argive, gives us more soldiers as fodder, and then Restoration Angel starts the blinking. So, you know, exiling creatures, bringing them back in, counters on Syr Vondam, you know the score. I put Tessa Karlov in just because we do like the creature tokens having vigilance and lifelink occasionally. They do help. And then Aphrael Stone Chosen also comes in. Now, I did think about doing Aphrael as a separate commander deck, but I can't think of a good way of doing it at the moment, so you're going to have to bear with me on this one. This may be a late one from Edge of Eternities, but the Void ability fits in here quite nicely with Syr Vondam, so in it comes. Astriel Reclaimer comes in as well. We get to return target non-creature, non-land permanent card with mana value X or less from a graveyard, where X is amount of mana spent to cast this creature. Just gives away getting back any of our enchantments we've got coming up, our artifacts that have been killed off. From there, Exalted Sunborn is also in, just to make sure we can get even more tokens on the go. And we are in black, and I can't ever resist playing Gary. So, yeah, we're here. Pedigree Beckoner is also in. Until the end of turn, another target creature gains +2/+0, and when this creature dies, return it to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. Lovely if you could drop it on Syr Vondam as well. Plus, it has got warp, so, you know. You can go +2/+0 on Syr Vondam, attack with a 4/2 if nothing else, and it comes back again. And then the pedigree, seemed like a good plan to me anyway at the time. I know it's a common, but it still works. Starfield Shepherd gives us a way of finding some lands or going to get a creature with mana value 1 or less, which is basically up here, the Viscera Seer. That's it. That's the only one we can go and get if we need to. There we go. Syr Vondam, Lucent's in. The other version of Syr Vondam's in as well. Might as well give all our other creatures +1/+0 and Death Touch when next attacks or enters. Anti-Causal Vestige. Yeah, one of the Eldrazi's has Warp 4. When it leaves the battlefield, draw a card. Then you may put a permanent card with mana value less than or equal to the number of lands you control from your hand onto the battlefield. Tapped. Yeah, okay then. Yeah. Alright. Odra Taxin, just to give us some more token production. Wethblade Enhanced is also in to chuck around some more of those +1/+1 counters, and another one that warps in quite easily. Ancient Gold Dragon to give us all those fairy tokens when it attacks on the D20. Hopefully it'll deal combat damage to someone and get there. And the Overlord of the Mistmores is also in, more tokens and the impending side of it if you really need to. Sorceries, well, we have Tragic Trajectory. I can't say that. Trajectory. Sorry, there you go. -2/-2 to a creature until the end turn. If we've avoided something this turn, -10/-10. Big removal spell. Love it. Hymn of the Faller is also in as well. Surveil 1, you draw a card and lose 1. And if another non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn or spells warp, draw another card. That's fine. Server Expedition, just a few more token productions. Decode Transmissions, draw 2, lose 2, and if warp something in, instead you draw 2 cards and each opponent loses 2 life. That's nice. Graceful Restoration, just a little bit of fun to bring a creature card back from our graveyard or 2 creature cards with power 2 or less from our graveyard to the battlefield, depending what we need at the time. And Settle Beyond Reality, exile target creature you don't control, and then exile target creature you control and then return to the battlefield. First of our main sort of like spell blink effects is here now to help us build up Syr Vondam. And then all the traditional blink ones, Cloud Shift, Ephemerate, bit of control with PTE and STP. Flicker of Fate's in as well, Otherworldly Journey makes an appearance. Eerie Interlude, Ghost Away, they're all here. They're all flicker effects outside of the Path to Exile and Swords of Plowshares. Artifacts, well, ramp side basically, nothing really fancy. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, one of each of the medallions, Talisman of Hierarchy, Thought Vessel, and then one card that really does work so well in this deck. I know I've been playing Conjurer's Closet a lot recently, But in this deck, it really does make sense to have this as a way of an additional way of exiling our creatures and blinking them in and out. So, just get your triggers the right way around. It still works. And finally, Portal to Phyrexia, because we need some board control. This is quite big. I just like playing it. Take it out. Play Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, something else if you prefer. But I just like Portal to Phyrexia. Sorry. Enchantments, well, Aligned Hearts in. Because we probably will cast a couple of spells each turn. We might as well get some monks this way, especially if they've got prowess and, keep guessing when we double cast, so that's fine. Bastion of Remembrance, the traditional let's sacrifice everything and drain and gain. Court of Grace gives us the monarchy, which obviously you know by now I do enjoy having, and then either an angel or spirit, depending if we're still the monarch or not. And Teleportation Circle, another way of exiling our things and bringing them back in again. Lands a little bit low, there's 35. They're all black and white. There's nothing particularly fancy here that I need to talk about. We have got Field of the Dead in as a game changer, just so we're aware. Reliquary Tower is in, there you go, there it is. And Temple of the False God, but beyond that, the usual selection. Now, there are a few drain cards I know I haven't got in, and I'm very aware of some black and white ones I haven't played, but I was trying to avoid them, just have a bit of fun with the whole warping thing and dealing with Syr Vondam. So feel free to add them in if you want to, but that's it. That's my take on Syr Vondam, Sunstar Exemplar for today. Hope you like this one. We're getting towards the end now of doing the Edge of Eternities. We've got a few more to do that I want to cover. There'll be another one tomorrow, and then we'll start looking at some of the other cards that have recently been added to MTGO. So, for now, I hope you like this take on Syr Vondam. Let me know if there's any creatures you really think should be included. Like I said, I know there's some of the drain effects. Corpse Knight springs to mind, and there's a couple of others. But if there's things you think that should be really included, let me know in the comments down below. Please hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Help me sort of like improve my visibility on the YouTube algorithm. And I'll be back tomorrow with another one from Edge of Eternity. So now, thanks for watching. Take care. See you soon. Bye.